What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining. Hope you are having a great one today. As always, I am very excited because today I get to take a look at my first Exo-6 figure. So this is a company that relatively recently started doing 6th scale Star Trek stuff, and they've all been pretty dang awesome. I did not get any of the earlier ones. They had a Picard, I think a Data, and then a couple others, but Sisko has basically been my favorite captain of the Star Trek world for, pretty much forever. So when I saw that they were doing him, I absolutely had to get it. Hopefully, this will be just as amazing as the rest of them. So you do get a kind of generic brown box. It's nothing too spectacular, so we're just going to leave that as is. We'll go ahead and slide this on out here. Bunch of corner protectors, which is very nice of them. Now they do have two different versions of this figure. There is a standard, or I guess it's considered the Essentials version, and then there is the standard version here, which is pretty fantastic. So the Essentials version, it's about $40 cheaper. And it does not come with some of the accessories. It's pretty much just the basic figure. The standard version, as we take a look at this little box here, comes with a whole bunch of extra goodies. Oh, it actually says right here for you. So most of the stuff with the standard version, if you're familiar with the show, Season 6 has an episode called In the Pale Moonlight. Season 6 is basically the best season of Deep Space Nine, just to be direct. So it's got that episode, which a lot of people consider the best episode of Deep Space Nine. It also has Sacrifice of Angels, which is like one of the most action-full episodes of the show. And then it's got my two favorites, Who Mourns for Morn and The Magnificent Ferengi. So if you are a fan of Star Trek and have not watched much Deep Space Nine, 6 is definitely a good season to take a look at. But in any event, Pale Moonlight, pretty well revered by most Star Trek fans, so they give you a lot of accessories to kind of recreate some of the scenes that are in that episode, which is pretty much just Sisko kind of having like a dialogue with himself, essentially, kind of discussing the moral and ethical implications of something that he does during the show. So go ahead and yank this all off and get a good look at our man. Kablam. Very nice head sculpt. They did an absolutely good job. That is fantastic. They do have the little 4 captain buttons on there. I don't know if you can see, so that's kind of a little hard to tell. There you go. So that's kind of nice. He starts in the show as a commander, if I'm not mistaken. So, but by this point, he has gotten his full promotion. Now, I immediately noticed some difficulties moving his arms, which I can honestly not tell if that's just from the fabric or if it's the body. So I'm going to be a little gentle with that, and then we'll take a look. It does have double jointed elbows, which is nice. I feel like it's the jacket because I cannot move his arms past that point at all and not out to the side at all. To the point where I don't know if it's just restricted from this jacket or if the body doesn't allow for good shoulder mobility. We'll take a look. They probably have some instructions in there. Can't imagine they'd restrict it that much because he has double jointed knees and relatively good leg movement for the most part. Star Trek's not really known for their action scenes or anything like that, so I'm not surprised he doesn't have too much range of motion, but I feel like he should definitely get more, at least out of his arms. So we'll take a little bit closer look at that in a moment. One thing I did find pretty dang neat is you do get a couple different versions of the base. So it's basically the pad of the tricorder Don't know why I said tricorder. The teleporter. So you got that as like kind of the main pad that you can use. But then they also should have a separate base that you can flop it out. That's possible. And you just take that off and flip it. We will take a look-see. Nope, the other one's right here. So if you wanted to do a different base, you've got kind of more of just a standard generic one there that you can use, which is nice. Let's take a look what else we got in here. These are going to be some of his backup stuff for the standard edition. I'm going to do a little bit of a tilt. You get some extra hands, which we can take a look at one. I'll pull out some of the goodies. Really kind of basic with the extra hands, nothing too overly fancy there, which is fine. The actual accessories that you get, if we can pull them out. So, it does have two little pouches that are magnetized, so this one's for the phaser, and then that one's for the little tricorder, and these are supposed to just essentially clip right onto there. You can kind of see where the magnet's sticking out on. I might have those reversed. I think the phaser goes on the other side, but just for the sake of getting them on there, there you go. I am pretty terrible at getting things out of boxes, so let's try this. Just needed to flip it. Alright, there we go. So you get a baseball, which he keeps on his desk. You could see it a lot in that Pale Moonlight episode that I had mentioned, but he plays baseball quite often with his son. It's pretty much just a standard baseball. They didn't really do anything too special with that. Not that you really need to. The tricorder's in two parts, which I think is interesting. So when it's folded up, it would look like that, and that's how it'll fit in a little pod in his case on the waist. But then you just flip those two together like that, and there you have it if you want him to hold it. Kind of an interesting choice. I don't hate it, but definitely unique. And then he's also got a nice little computer terminal as well. And that's showing some pictures of Deep Space Nine on there, which is kind of fun. So definitely some cool little detail in that. And then as far as the other goodies, we'll see what we can pull out. So you do get a vest that you can flip him to if you wanted him to have the different outfit that he's wearing, again in the Pale Moonlight episode. And then you can also flip out the shirt as well. And then you get, they taped him in, so you get some extra hands, a whiskey glass, and then a phaser rifle. So let's see how easy I can plop these out real quick. Apparently not easy. Tape. Of course, tape. Get that sliced open real fast. Maybe. There we go. So you do get a couple extra hands that come in this little pouch. It's honestly just to hold the whiskey glass that you get right there. He drinks heavily in that episode, so that's kind of a fun little addition. Maybe not heavily. He's having a drink, so we'll just leave it. We'll say that. And then you get the Phase 3 rifle, which is good. This is the one they use in the Dominion conflict. You do, from the looks of it. Oh, that's fun. So you get to move up the rangefinder, which I like. Not a necessary adjustment there, but definitely cool. Did a nice job with that. straps on pretty good, so that's going to stay nice and sturdy. Really good paint scheme, honestly. It matches up pretty much exactly how you would expect for the traditional style phaser rifle. And then just because we didn't take a look at it, there's kind of the classic standard phase 2 one that they used. So that's pretty dang fun. And then in theory, these should just kind of go like that. And all right, so that one's a tricky little guy. Let's try that again. There we go. Technically, they'd be on different sides, but not the end of the world. So the one thing that I am definitely curious about, though, is his arm mobility. And I do really think, yeah, it's just from having that jacket on. You can see there, once the jacket's off, he's got quite a bit of wiggle. So it's just the actual Starfleet jacket that's restricting him, which not terrible by any means. You know, like I said, he doesn't do a whole lot of moving around in the show, so if you did want to do any crazy poses, you might just want to make sure you got that jacket either open or off. You could probably adjust it, cut some of the padding out if you really wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. And that'll pretty much do it for this one. We're going to keep this kind of short and sweet. If you were interested, I think Big Bad Toy Store still has the Essential one. Standard ones you can find at a couple other places, but definitely worth checking out. I am getting Quark when he comes out, and I'll probably get Geordi because I'm a huge Geordi fan as well. But we'll sort of see what other ones they launch down the line. That'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much.